Okay, great. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to episode 20 of Humarii Chaii. Um, as you can see, मैं अपने webcam पर ये shoot कर रहा हूँ and Hamza is nowhere to be seen. And for our listeners, this is pretty much going to be like a monologue. I thought about doing two things. Either calling one of my friends, uh, aspiring ex-comedian, I don't know how to categorize him, Kamran, and sort of talk about uh, वो हमारे एज ग्रुप में होते हुए, you know, why did he pick up comedy and why did he leave it, the state of affairs. I don't know if that's the right term, like in the state of affairs when it comes to uh, the comedy scene in Pakistan and how it can be challenging for some people. So that was one idea. Let us know, like, like I'm just throwing these out there because, like, if you can comment later on in the description and let us know whether like this is a good idea. And the other is this really old conversation जो मेरे iPad में October 2019 से saved है. जब initially, like when I thought, somewhere I should document these conversations because at least they were like interesting to me or for me. So it's a really long screen पर दिख रही होगी. Oh my god, I should have just recorded this directly, but मुझे अपने laptop पर record करना है. And it's like a 1 hour, not 1 hour, like a 50-minute conversation with me, Hamza, and one of our friends, Moiz, who's studying something related to political sciences at Sabancı University in Turkey. वो I need to like sort of go through this conversation again, and I thought कि मैं अभी sort of record कर I'll stitch it with an intro and post it, but even that sort of felt like a bad idea because it's best to sort of edit through a few things क्योंकि eventually आप लोग time लगा रहे हैं अपना and it would just be sort of not the best thing to do. But the reason why Hamza isn't here today and the reason why the podcast is actually late, I think Monday morning तक तो YouTube पर आएगी. Audio platforms where you probably will get it earlier as usual. But really the reason is that we were like really considering whether we should upload इस ईद के event पर, even though it's like Eid, it's just been it's hard to not acknowledge that there's a lot of grief that we both are feeling, and with that comes this sort of burden कि जब आप अपनी document कर रहे हैं journey, which is really why we are doing this podcast, by the way. We are doing this podcast to document our journey through university, through life, and see कि हम क्या क्या चीज़ें अपनी ज़िंदगी में बेहतर कर चुके हैं या कर रहे हैं. And along the way we will get people, a lot of you are people who are close friends of ours, but there are like some great listeners. Abhi, luckily, thanks to Irfan, because he brought in a lot of traffic initially. लेकिन उसके अलावा even Sir Ali Anwarzada and so many like of other guests who brought in some really key listeners. और हमने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था कि इतनी जल्दी शायद हमें एक सेंस ऑफ अप्रिसिएशन मिलने शुरू होगी. तो वी जस्ट वांटेड टू थैंक यू गाइस फॉर दैट. एंड उसी वजह से like Hamza and I talked just a few minutes ago, and Hamza के बहुत सारे काम हैं अभी, तो he's just really caught up with university work. मेरे भी हैं, but I just find it easier to just sort of shoot this छोटी podcast for today. The thing is कि with the hard to ignore वाली चीज़, again the plane crash, and फिर उसके बाद ईद थी, and at least मैं अपने लिए, I'll speak for myself, not for Hamza, but this is my first Eid without my family, and pretty much I'm alone. Like, it feels like any other day. It's also my first Eid without my father, who passed away in January, on January 1st. तो it's been difficult. और अभी like 2-3 मेरे literally sessions हुए हैं जिनमें I've just sort of cried and sort of, you know, processed as much as I could. लेकिन the issue is कि when you're putting yourself out there ऐसे, a lot of people generally, you know, uplifting चीज़ें चाहिए लोगों को सुनने के लिए, और उनमें पॉजिटिव चीज़ें आती हैं, पॉजिटिव बातें आती हैं, लेकिन हमजा और मेरा हमेशा एक दूसरे के साथ एटलीस्ट ये रूल था कि वी विल बी रियल विद ईच अदर नो मैटर व्हाट, यू नो, एंड ऑनेस्ट. और because we've allowed you guys to sort of step into a really small part, like the outside part of it, because we feel like उसमें कुछ value है उस चाय सेश में. बेसिकली उस चाय सेश में वैल्यू होने की वजह से होने का एक रीज़न ये है कि इट्स ऑथेंटिक. अब द थिंग इज़ के दैट मेक्स इट रियली डिफ़िकल्ट, क्योंकि अगेन आई स्पीक फॉर माई सेल्फ, मैं हमजा की बात नहीं करूँगा, but I've never been somebody who's been really good at openly expressing my grief या कोई sadness. और इन द पास्ट अगर मैंने कभी की है तो इनवैलिडेट हो गया थी काफ़ी ज़्यादा किसी न किसी तरीके से, क्योंकि एज मेल्स यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी टफ, लेकिन वो सेंस ऑफ टफनेस इजंट in that, you know, idea of just blocking everything up and not talking about it. तो for people जिनको कोई sense of grief है अभी, or they feel anxious at least about everything, you know, the virus, the amount of people who are losing their lives, understand कि ये जो grief है, it's not, your grief doesn't define who you are. Your sadness or your emotions aren't you. I'm not again a therapist or ऐसी चीज़. If you need genuine help, therapy के through, or if you don't have that privilege, go talk to a friend who will not judge you basically. But मेरे लिए at least one thing that sort of helped me process my emotions better, especially in the past few months, has been to understand कि अगर मेरे अंदर कोई sense of grief है या कोई sadness है, it's not, first of all वो बुरी चीज़ नहीं है, it's not evil or it's not negative. हम negative emotion बोल देते हैं, but again these are my opinions. They're not necessarily negative in nature, they feel negative, so, and they don't define who you are. For example, I do this one thing for myself. It's like I make sure अगर मैं किसी से बोलता हूँ कि I'm feeling sadness, I'm not saying I am sad, because even उस phrasing के अंदर how you phrase it for yourself, it really makes a difference, right? Is this recording? I need to check. Yeah, it's recording. So अगर आप किसी से शेयर कर रहे हैं, for example कोई बात, तो just say I am feeling a lot of sadness, I am feeling a lot of grief, rather than saying I am sad or I am happy, क्योंकि फिर उससे आपकी sense of identity, at least for me, that's like one way I sort of deal with it better, because क्योंकि आपकी sense of identity permanent होती है और emotions permanent नहीं होते. I've never really talked about this sort of way of dealing with emotions with like with a lot of people, just very very close friends, but really that's what's happening in Hamza or Meri life. Again, it was about documenting, and I think kabhi kabhar just important to acknowledge that life slows down, and when it slows down, it's important to embrace it in some sense, to be okay with it. And abhi if you really look at everything happening, sort of the best opportunity you might have is just to sort of learn how to slow down, take a breath. One of our first guest, Asad, I messaged him a few days ago, maybe yesterday, I don't remember, and I was like, I just feel anxious. I feel like a lot of this is so pointless because, like, for me, even though I've like sort of vaguely mentioned that I don't know whether I'll be at this university next year, whether I'll be here, उसकी वजह से एक सेंस ऑफ एंग्जाइटी और फिर इंसान मैनेज तो कहीं भी कर लेता है अगर इफ द पर्सन वांट्स टू और मैनेज की बात भी नहीं. इट्स लाइक the beauty of being a human being is that we can adapt. We are made to adapt. It's in our genes. हम adapt करते आ रहे हैं, right? Your ancestors adapted, therefore you are here, and you will also adapt. So just acknowledging that वो strength आप में है, आपको कोई बोले कि नहीं है या बोले कि है, वो पहले से है. But उसने मुझे असद ने मुझे बोला कि take a breath, take a breather, inhale, exhale, and उसके बाद इसने एक चीज़ बोली कि a lot of people will not understand what you're going through, and a lot of people might not be able to fully comprehend it, but what we are here for, he was like talking about himself, is we are always here to listen, and that is important. So I guess this is also me sort of, I guess, speaking my mind out. This isn't structured. हम usually वैसे भी with the podcast we never structure anything. कोई हम पहले से decide नहीं करते कि किसी चीज़ की हम बात करेंगे. कभी कभार होता है, like especially if you have a guest on, obviously you need to know things that are relevant to that guest, or the things we want to learn from them, or the things we just want to have a conversation about. और फिर उसके अलावा कभी कभार होता है कि ओके 2-3 दिन पहले हमें कोई कॉन्वर्सेशन हो रही है और फिर मैं उससे बोलता हूँ लेट्स वेट दिस आउट. सो जनरली a lot of conversations जो आप स्टार्टिंग से देख रहे हैं और वैसे भी देख रहे हैं, दोज आर वेरी क्लोज कॉन्वर्सेशंस माइनस क्रिटिकल इन्फॉर्मेशन जो हमारी पर्सनल लाइफ की होती है, दैट इन्वॉल्व्स अदर पीपल, और कुछ information that we're just not okay or fine with sharing with the public, तो वो हम obviously नहीं mention करते. लेकिन in essence what you're getting is truly हमारी last podcast में जो था idea चाय sesh का, it's literally that. But आज का episode we just thought it's best to sort of keep it short, keep it like the OG, bad lighting, webcam तो वैसे भी यूज़ करते हैं, बट ऑडियो अच्छी होगी आज बिकॉज आई एम यूजिंग माई शॉटगन माइक. होपफुली इट्स वर्किंग. अगर ये नहीं हुआ है देन लग गया. आई शुड हैव प्रोबब्ली चेक्ड. आई जस्ट प्लग्ड इट इन, आई स्टार्टेड रिकॉर्डिंग. बट ये सीन है आजकल. इट्स अ स्लो वीक. Congratulations to everyone who made it through Ramzan. Probably one of the toughest Ramzans we've had. And apart from that, I think the only thing I'm doing is right now is sort of slowly documenting. School का काम obviously चल रहा है as usual. दुआ मांगे कि कल. The funniest thing is यार मेरी deadline है कल, and I still have like hefty amount of work left. मैं ये shoot कर रहा हूँ. So but yeah, उसके अलावा I don't know, like I think gratitude practice करना मुझे हमेशा struggle होती थी. Like one thing I sort of learned how to do today, yesterday actually, was I messaged a friend and उसने मुझे, like I've asked her how she was doing, और उसने मुझे बोला कि I'm grateful for whatever is in my life but also heartbroken. And that's like the first time I realized, oh wait, you can come across as somebody who's expressing their sadness while not coming across as somebody who's complaining, जो हमेशा मेरा issue रहता था. Because मैं किसी से बोलता हूँ कि I'm feeling this way, तो I'm just scared that I come across as somebody who's complaining, तो मैं बोलता ही नहीं हूँ. I'm like I'm good, I'm fine. But yeah, ज़रूरी नहीं है आप हर किसी से बोलें, because not a lot of people are open to that. They just want to make small conversations. But yeah, 15 minutes into this, I don't know मैं कैसे बोलते जा रहा हूँ, but there's a lot. If you're bored right now, I would recommend that head on to my Instagram, look at some artwork. Shameless plug, why not? If it makes you feel better, मेरा YouTube channel है, उसके ऊपर कुछ random videos हैं. I'm making a lot of video art these days, तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता उसके ऊपर अपलोड करना शुरू कर दूँगा. Maybe a few vlog type videos. माज़रत ख़्वाह हूँ, इंग्लिश में होंगी सारी, there, because I want a wider audience. But yeah, links to everything is in the description below. दुआ है कि आप सब and each one of you is going to have a peaceful Eid where you will have the opportunity to heal. And I hope कि मतलब globally everybody and our country and the earth is able to heal from not just the virus but the grief that it has brought to all of us, and even grief generally, क्योंकि हम as a human generation we just bottle everything up. But yeah, this was episode 20. It's a slow one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Still, enjoyment doesn't mean that it needs to be hyped up. But yeah, Khuda Hafiz, boys.